tug and trade.
Donate now at ShockYouPlays.com for the kids. Hey guys, this week on AwesomeCast, we talk about Tech Cocktail and all the fancy new companies, all that, so much more. AwesomeCast. Find yourself in the Beachview area of Pittsburgh? Check out the official pizza of this show, Slice on Broadway, sharing an abnormal obsession with pizza we can relate to. Check them out at sliceonbroadway.com and tell them this show sent you.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, welcome to the AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, have some fun here from the studios here in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, ready to get awesome. Joining us, oh crap, I never set up Mike. I'm sorry.
God,
I never set up Mike. It's such a last minute thing that I just didn't even set you up, apparently.
it's okay. People know who I am. I'm a pretty big deal on the internet.
He's internet famous.
I am.
Alright. So there's your thing. Now I'll make you not John Chinchilla.
I was gonna say we have one of those.
That's me.
Do I usually actually use your name on here?
Yeah, you use my normal name. Sometimes it doesn't matter. People know me as both.
I still just call you Mad Mike because I always forget how to say your last name.
That's fine. I forget how to say
Is
it
that just
sometimes.
where we're at with our lives these days? Where I just know like is it bad that I can never say your last name even though I've known you for how long?
I think I still have Dave in my phone as Doc Remedy. Yes, I do.
Okay, that answers that.
Yeah, funny story. The first time I met him, I forgot what he looked like
I remember because
he was picking me up from the airport, and I forgot what I was supposed to be looking for, and I didn't have a device yet, so I couldn't just
because
look at the
we
picture.
were an audio show at that point,
Yep.
right? So there was
Yep.
no basis whatsoever to know what he looked like. How do you think we felt when them came to town? Because we're just like, wait, we have emailed with this guy from another country, and he's going to visit us and stay in my house. It's not until he's on his way back from the airport that we think, wait, was this a good idea?
To be fair, the accent would have given him away, I think.
Well, I don't think that was the worry.
Well, I mean, you have strength in numbers there.
That's true. That's true too.
I think he had more cause to be concerned than you did because he was literally going across a pond, across a big pond, and had no other contact.
Well, no. Actually, this is not true because we were part of a trip he was doing here, and I think he came here from Chicago, and his girlfriend at the time was also along on the trip.
Oh, okay. So I was the only idiot that flew there without knowing anyone at all.
Yes, because Eamon came with family.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm the only idiot.
I met the entire clan. Yes, you're the only one, but you're from New York.
That's true. I probably could have taken Dave if I needed to.
Okay. All right, we'll try this again now. Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get techie, have some fun. It's the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg here in the studios in Pittsburgh, PA, at Sorgatron on the Twitter, of course. With me in the studio, he's back, the baby daddy.
What's up? I am back.
He's
the baby
Chilla.
was not sleeping well today, but I made it.
Chilla is here, also on the couch. She's going to talk with us about her experience at Tech Cocktail last week. Is Missy at Rebellious Flaw, if you want to catch up with her on the Twitters. You say something. It's an audio show, too.
Oh, it's an audio show. Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm here to talk some tech this week.
Hi. And also, sticking around from the last show he was just on is Mad Mike. Mad Mike 4883.
Triple duty today, Sorg.
Why not? Just do the Grand Slam.
Yeah, you could do them all. You could be like, all the shows. It's all around Mike.
Just make it happen.
I don't think Chachi wants me on the next show.
Probably not. Probably not. We're also out of slots for that one, probably too. But this is the AwesomeCast, where we like to talk tech and the internet and social media and whatever comes up during the week, have some fun with it. And we try not to go over some people's heads here, but sometimes we talk about the studio and it gets a little crazy. But of course, we're here live every Tuesday at live.sorgatronmedia.com, where you can click the links as they post on sorgatronmedia.com, awesomecast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at AwesomeCast. We're on Facebook, Google+, and you can let us know any stories or comments on any stories that we talked about, have been tweeting out during the week, anything like that. Or drop us an email to awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. We're also on iTunes, Roku, Blip TV, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spreaker in video and audio forms. Pick up any of those that make sense for you. Some of you may be folding laundry while you're watching this show. Hi, Doug. I know he was earlier. I don't even know if he's in the chat anymore, so we'll check on that. But anyway, so let's get started with our awesome things of the week. Missy, we have, I think we have a collective awesome thing of the week. Is something that we attended last week called Tech Cocktail. And for video, there's something. There's a little picture of that action from Dutters, who couldn't be with us. She's now at a Bruce Springsteen show tonight, I understand. So
that's her cool thing of the week is Bruce Springsteen?
I think that's her cool thing is, Bruce Springsteen is what we're going with there. This was a kind of startup expo of sorts, party kind of thing. I don't know. How would you describe it, Missy?
I think the expo is kind of the best thing, the best description of it. Pretty much showcase. Showcase is a good description.
Okay.
It took some of the local tech startups in the area and gave them a meet and greet type of thing where everybody can, pretty much check out their stuff. They did little presentation things. And then each of the companies actually had a minute that they were able to do a on-stage presentation, to tell us about their company and get us interested enough to come talk to them in the latter part of the meet and greet.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So and we kind of divided. You went with Dutters and talked to a few people. I talked to some people as well. One that I would definitely wanted to bring up to Chili here. Have you heard of Max My TV?
I did not, but I saw you posted a link to it, but it's not in the...
Yeah, well, actually, I'll throw the article. We have an article over at sorgatronmedia.com that has links to all these companies that we're going to be talking about here. But I'll throw it in the doc for you there, Chilla.
I just did.
So basically, yeah, it's yet another kind of Google TV sort of play, right? But their thing was overlaying the social on top of it. And they're going to, and see if I can find an image of them talking about it, they're going to also integrate home security into this box.
I like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
What worries me is, so Xbox has done this, Samsung's done it on some of their TVs. I think Verizon Fios may do it on their cable boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Will it catch? Unless it's something like, was it Raptor? Where it kind of auto posts saying you played this or you did this. Are people going to post? Is it posting what you're watching, or
No.
brings up the feed on the TV?
It's the whole thing is it's kind of combining the social TV. Like I said, we've seen the Twitter overlay thing before, I think. So when talking to them, it sounds like it's going to be you plug your feed into it, and it just overlays on top of that. Now it is running Android. It's actually I think they said their demo is on a Raspberry Pi running Android. And they are going to open it up that you're going to be able to install like Play Store apps.
I could see it being very beneficial for people that enjoy sports.
Mm-hmm.
And watching one thing and getting all the information on all the other broadcasts. Where I see this not working is in a couple cases. So you notice in so they show an example of their email and their social, and it's overlaid on the right hand side of the screen, which means and it's actually overlaid. It
And
didn't
I'm
take
told-
the
Yes.
picture.
And she was telling me that's not the final how it's
Okay.
going to look. They're working on that, and one of it might be actually taking that feed and knocking it over a little bit.
And then
And
shrinking the picture.
Yeah,
like,
actually.
actual
So I'm
correct
like,
aspect ratio.
so I could potentially have this feed going this way, this feed going this way, and I could have my own kind of Bloomberg TV social media kind of thing going on. And she's like, yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for. I'm like, all right.
The second thing is, and I'd be interested to hear other people's comments on this.
Mm-hmm.
How many people watch TV alone? So in our household, very rarely is it one person watching the TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that stream on the side,
Whose stream is it?
whose stream is it? Or, and what could get really interesting is, can you log in multiple accounts? And then the Gmail example, is it going to be your mail, my mail,
Or-
intertwined?
Or it would be nice if it was like, a show has a hashtag. American Idol has a hashtag.
That would be cool.
Raw has a hashtag, and that's what pops up. That can also be very dangerous. I was talking earlier about how I have a feed in here with like Nintendo and wrestling hashtags, video games and wrestling. I just threw it all in one, this or this or this or this. And sometimes I get porn that happens to be a lady with a Xbox controller. But she's naked, and it's on Twitter, and there it is displaying in my feed that's just sitting here while I'm working. Imagine that happening while you're watching Sesame Street.
I mean, we see a lot of the second screen stuff where it says follow along with the hashtag or tweet this because the cast is listening during the show.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is,
I got a tweet on WWE Network last night, talking. They were
Okay.
watching their old school late at night, and I'm just like blah blah blah, and didn't even think about it. And I'm watching, I'm like, oh hey, whoa, that's me, It's a lot easier, I think, when you're watching stuff like that rather than Raw. But
and the other thing for the hashtag type of thing, is it going to do it where, and I've seen some companies experimenting with this, where you can get the second screen experience and you actually sync it with when you start watching.
mm-hmm.
So if I DVR'd something, I can actually start the second screen experience and I get the tweets and everything as they would have appeared if I was watching it.
I haven't heard of
during
anybody
the
doing
live.
this yet.
So
I think
that's the other thing is,
Marvel does that with their DVDs.
What's that, Mike?
I think Marvel does that with their DVDs. Some of them,
What do you mean?
you open the app for the movie when you start the movie, and then it'll bring up, like I know they did for the Dark Knight movie and for Iron Man 2.
I think they did it for one of the
Where it was
Harry
like-
Potters too.
Well, no, the Harry Potter was different. There was no app for it. It was just like an all-inclusive thing. But
Okay.
the Iron Man one, if you open up the app, it would show you like blueprints of like the Whiplash design and stuff like that. It would show you stuff when it hits in the movie, like it would follow along.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like second screen on HBO follows along with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and kind of like the second screen on the WWE app when you watch Raw.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's close to what you want, but you want Twitter to come.
I don't
through.
care what it is.
But so I mean, we do have this in some cases.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, in this case, they're just taking the Twitter feed, taking the social feeds, and doing that. But I was wondering, because I know you're interested in the boxes, and you're interested in home automation. What do you think about that combination
So I
that
think that's
they're
a
promising?
good combination, and one of the things that I've, after experimenting with a lot of different things, I think home automation needs to be its own little box.
Okay.
However that operates, running it on top of another PC in your house, I don't think is the way to go. Whether it ties in with a box or some other type of device that's always on and always at your house. I really like their remote control. That looks really, really nice with the keyboard on the back. I think a lot of TiVo started to do this, in Samsung I think has one remote that does this. That I flip my remote over and I have a full QWERTY keyboard on the back. I definitely think that's well worth
Oh, here it is. And I think this has happened a bit. Was it Google TV that did this first with this remote?
Yeah, with the one before the Q.
Okay.
The one before the Q that was like I think it might have been actually made by Sony. It was an oblong type box. I think it kind of represented a
Mhm.
PlayStation, but I think they did have the keyboard on the back.
But
It'd be definitely a cool thing to try out.
Mhm.
My next question would be, okay, with the home automation, do they continue to sell? So they have a door sensor, a presence sensor, bulb
yes,
porter.
yes, and they
holder.
said the sensors in talking with them. They said the sensors are going to be about $20 a piece, and of course the camera. And they had a camera example camera there on display. Of course, it would be a little bit more. But so it sounds like it's going to be a nice kind of starter home automation kind
So
of
to at
system.
least get your lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
They are looking. I'm on the email list. I'm going to keep an eye out for it. But they are on the list for. They're going to be doing a Kickstarter
Oh,
to
okay,
get this
cool.
going. So I mean, they, like I said, they have, and you can see kind of the tech specs there. I think they said it's running a Raspberry Pi and all that. So that gives you an idea what all it needs to run on. And that was a $35 board. It's going to be cheaper. If they did something that was like, I imagine final assembly is not going to be a Raspberry Pi. It's going to be something custom. Their own board
Do you
that
think?
does. Do you think they would just like buy? Has anybody done this where they've just like bought Raspberry Pis, put it in a box, had their software on it, and said, "Here you go"?
I want to say there have been.
There's
people.
nothing to stop that.
There's nothing to stop that, and it takes them out of the business of trying to fabricate boards.
True.
And
true.
it's not. I'm guessing it's not a large overhead at that price point.
Mhm.
I mean, when you look at what they're doing, I could see them easily making money and maybe not putting a high markup on that device. It's going to be all these other products that you have to buy afterwards: the door sensor, the temperature sensor, the camera, the bulb holder, etc. I think that's where you get people hooked with the cheap device, and then you let them expand their network of connectivity and automation through the other products. I think what's going to be key for them, I don't know if I'm looking at some of the UI. The UI looks really nice, really clean.
Mhm.
What does it look like? So I'm guessing that's a tablet. What does it look like from a phone? Because I think that's the other thing when you get into home automation. You get into home automation so you can automate things when you're in your house, but also automate things when you're not.
Yeah. Does it do all that?
So what's that remote capability? I love the power usage. That's something I'm actually addicted to on the Nest. My monthly report, I'm like, ooh, what was my power savings last year? Or this month versus last month? What was it this month, this year versus this month a year ago? Like, how am I scoring against people? That's where I really enjoy the Nest, not just that it's a learning thermostat, but I can actually gauge how well I'm doing. And they've done a pretty good job on their mobile apps.
But it looks interesting.
But it also like when you talk about putting the mass profit margin on the product line, like the sub product, that means I could get one of these Max My TVs for every room in the house, relatively inexpensive. Next week I'll probably be talking about. I just did a major TiVo overhaul around our house.
I think you mentioned that that was coming up.
Yeah, and that, while it's nice, their equipment is not cheap by any means.
Yeah.
So
It's an investment.
So getting
it's
these
it's not like
devices-
tossing a Chromecast in
Right.
every room of the house or anything like that. Missy, you, like I said, you went around and you talked to a lot of people too with others. Was there anything that really stuck out for you?
Well, we talked to the lifeshel guys, and I like the concept. Essentially, it's an adapted case for your smartphone, because as a woman, it's geared toward specifically like campus-based women for college, and you might not have your purse on you with your mace or your taser in it, or you might not have, some other personal item that you carry a can of mace or, a taser in type of thing. This puts it on your smartphone. But the nice thing about this technology is that it also comes with an app. They're developing an application that, say that something unfortunately did happen, I would be able to literally at the touch of a button send out a beacon that would alert other users that somebody needed help, and that they would be able to either come and try to help me in the situation that I found myself in, or, call 911 and report that something is happening in this location. They're still working on a lot of features as far as that's concerned, but as far as their cases are concerned, they have two different cases. One has the pepper spray option, and the other has a frequency sound.
So there's the pepper spray, this capsy version here. I think
and then whistle.
I think you can see the pepper spray kind of breaks off the side there. These look different. Were there like other prototypes they were showing? Because these look a lot different than what I think they had on hand.
They did have different stuff that they were showing there on hand. They said that they've been working on a couple of different things to.
Yeah, even this is saying image shown isn't representative of the final product. The whistle version is shipping in fall, they say. The capsy with the pepper spray is still in development and not yet determined.
And that's also dependent upon state.
Yes.
Whether or not your state allows you to carry and what regulations are permitted for it. So obviously if you're looking into that, make sure that you're allowed to carry it. Make sure that if you carry it, whether or not you have to have like a weapons permit type of thing to be able to carry it.
And I did bring up to them, I was like, you guys see the taser cases. We talked about them on the show
we
a
just
while
talked
back.
briefly about them.
And they're like, but they haven't really caught on because everybody's kind of worried about their phone accidentally tasing them in their pocket.
Yes.
has been an idea.
And then the other question is, what does that do to your phone?
That's true too.
I mean, a taser is a giant electrical surge. What does that do to my phone? Aw. I tased the guy, but now I have to go buy a new iPhone.
Now I can't call anybody to help me.
I tased the guy, but I lost all my contacts.
I had a picture of the guy.
One thing, it's the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but no, I liked that company, and like I said, these are all local companies here in the Pittsburgh area, which is amazing. Some of them have come through. We've talked about different Alpha Lab companies before. Some of these companies have been working with Alpha Lab. And
this one in particular is, we know, this is the first time I knew about this, there's now an Alpha Lab gear. So it's actually a device-driven startup incubator, which presumably they're running it out of right there in the south side where they do the rest of the Alpha Lab. So that's really cool, and I don't know how long they've been. This is the first I really learned about it, so I don't know. Like I don't even see anybody that's gone through it yet or anything. So good, and nice to see that they're expanding that aspect.
Yes, definitely.
So, but no, aside from the cases, it was interesting the app, and I feel like they're in a very very beta state with this, but. You did mention it briefly.
Yeah, they seem to, like you said, my understanding is like you just indicated, they're in a very beta stage.
And a lot of people that we were talking to were. And
that was just it. I mean, a lot of people that they met at this tech mixer, they had sign up for our mailing list options. Actually, the lifeshel website has, sign up for our mailing list. And they were talking about that one of the things they're looking to do is to run some testing on it and develop their network. So if you sign up for their list, that might be an option when they get to that point. They sound like they're still early in stage on different things. But yeah, it's an idea that I think, if done properly, can go somewhere.
Yeah, it's so the app was basically the way to describe it, and they really had we do this and we'll have a panic button or something, right?
Yeah.
From what I understood, and I think you got a different drift than I did. My understanding was there's a panic button and there's like a dead man switch panic button you could use. That's if you open up the app and you're like don't feel safe, and just in case you have that ready, right? In case something gets a drop on you. But there's also part of the app is you can have sound like maybe not a pure panic thing, like I'm in a bad, a woman's like I'm in a bad situation and at a club or something like that.
Yeah.
And then anybody else with that app, presumably, I want to say it's going to be like a Find My Friends thing where your friends are connected to it. You know? And they said you'd see he described it as you would see all these blue dots that are all your friends or other people on this app, and there'd be a red dot of you in trouble, and all these people will come to you, and hopefully that would be something to discourage anything happening and not lead to the cops having to come in the first place.
Yeah, because his big thing was, if you call 911, the response time is ridiculous. What this network of people would allow would be a more instantaneous response that, if that button pops up on somebody's phone that, somebody has initiated this, I'm in danger, and, oh, that's just like 2 blocks from me. I'm going to go that 2 blocks and see if I can help this person out. That person 2 blocks away is going to get to you faster and quicker than what the police would.
Mm-hmm.
That then begs the question of, are they promoting vigilante justice? I mean,
So wait, Missy, are you saying that there's now going to be a bat signal app?
that's
Kind
kind
of
of what
is,
it
isn't
is.
it?
I was thinking, what was it? Police Academy, Citizens on Patrol.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And this is one only Mike's probably going to get here, but Mike, I'm thinking spider bots.
Oh, Sorg, that's good.
All right.
Yep. I just hope no one has goblin tattoos.
I haven't gone that far, Mike. But that's not all, of course. I had a good conversation with Diamond Kinetics. Look at the sweet website they got going on
you
there.
liked these guys.
I like these guys.
You had all sorts of fun with these guys.
I talked with the one guy on here, and I have his card somewhere.
It's upstairs.
But basically, the idea is coaches don't know what's happening with the swing. After all these years, you're watching it. You don't know what's really happening at several points of your swing of a bat, right? And they're doing their pitch, and I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Like, and the whole idea is you swing the bat, and then you pull up. The app has.
Well, wait a minute. There's what you're missing is there is a sensor.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Sorry,
that.
Sorry, you're talking about the app.
Because I didn't understand what they were doing. They just like, hey, you're gonna swing a bat, and we don't know what's going on. Well, with our thing, you're going to. They had a minute, so there's that. So I went over because I'm like, how are you doing this? The guy came over. I was like, okay, cool. How are you doing this? And he pulled a thing out of his pocket, and it was a little sensor, little round sensor about that big, that fits right on the end of the bat, on the held hand, the hand part of the bat. And basically, because of where that is, it's got accelerometers or whatever in it, so it feels the motion, and based on knowing how long that bat is, it knows where the rest of the bat is. So now where, one thing he explained was, you could be having the full velocity of your swing is here or here, but not in the middle where it's connecting the ball. And that's the information you need. And there's a whole bunch of readouts that looked really complicated, but still it's something more than you would have before. This is not new. This is something that is already being used in golf. It's very big.
I was going to say, because I actually was looking at Christmas time for something like this for a golf club.
Mm-hmm.
But they're expensive. I mean, you're talking.
Oh yeah, and this is going to be
$250, $300.
Oh yeah,
For a hobbyist. But I could see for high schools, colleges.
They're talking to a lot of them, and I think they might have some big league interest as well, which I think it would be very big for them. But of course, if it's going to be like high schools and stuff, it's going to get to the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It'll filter up, if nothing else. Not only that, though, he said there's some are using these sensors for bowling. In Canada, there's a company doing it for hockey, and specifically, these guys have the IP to do it for baseball. They have the exclusivity to use this technology for baseball. So as far as any crossover, yes, it's the same technology, but they're like, we're the ones that are going to do it for baseball. So there's that. So there's no everybody else is doing it. I
thought they've done stuff like this with like ESPN Sports Science.
Really?
Yeah, I know they do. If it's like an MMA fight or something like that, they'll chart like how fast a kick can come into a bag, and they'll
Mhm.
put them in motion capture suits and everything like that, and they'll break it down like
Yeah.
physics wise. Like there's one on here about NCAA baseball and how like pitches come in, like what curvature the ball takes, and how quickly the bat's being swung around and everything.
And a lot of that can be done with visual, I think, like speeds, guns and stuff like that. And that when I asked about that, I was like, well, is this something to a point where you're already getting a lot of, how many stats pop up? They have a little box that says where the ball went, right after the pitch and all that information. Like, are we going to get to a point where maybe this is attached to every bat in professional sports and we just get this big readout afterwards that they interpret for TV, and now we have another data point at a certain point, which they sound like they hadn't thought of that from when I talked to them. But I was just like, dude, it makes sense, right?
Or it's just built into one day it's built into every bat you buy.
Yeah, or at least every MLB bat,
Right.
or something like that, So I could see that.
Because they did something like that for hockey for a while, and I actually enjoyed it. I guess other watchers must have been complaining. They were building a small chip into the puck.
I remember that.
So you
the
could
glowing
watch-
puck effect.
You could
The glowing puck.
but you could also get the puck when it was behind the boards and the video camera couldn't see it.
Mhm.
So you could follow it when it was out, when it was being blocked by
I
something.
believe it was kind of a similar technology to what puts like the lines on, or like what follows the cars in NASCAR and what
Mhm.
puts the lines on, on the football field. So I think it was something like that. I think it was just like the hockey purists. But that was at that point where hockey was kind of trying to be more mainstream there, late 90s, early 2000s. And, Fox, because I think it was specifically Fox Sports that did that.
And the thing that I didn't like about that is they started like trailing, remember the mouse trails and Windows 95? They would make the puck trail and it would have like these neon. They would have the neon glow. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but the ability to see what you couldn't normally see, kind of like this, is you're going to get information that you wouldn't normally get.
I feel like that's something that if they did it now, might be a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Like that they didn't have this neon crap going on.
Like you're saying, are we going to get even data on the bat swing when the ball wasn't hit?
Mhm.
Are you going to get bat swing speed along with the pitch speed readout? It could bring a lot more information. I like the idea.
Let's see. What else stuck out?
One of the other companies that I was interested in, and I didn't actually get an opportunity to talk to them, was Tailored Fit.
Yeah. Great presentation, but I didn't see a booth.
No, and that was the thing, is a couple of these companies didn't actually have booths. But these folks, I love this because they're a personal shopper for clothing. You answer a few questions about your preferences and your styles. They ask you, do you like this? Do you like that type of thing? And within a few moments, they have perfect suggestions for you. Katie liked the idea because she's extremely tall. So for her to find, especially like pants and slacks that fit properly, she needs to go to either a specialty store to have them, tailor-made, or she needs to go through all sorts of stuff in order to find clothing that fits properly. So she was really keen on the idea because they take multiple websites. And the one thing that they did in their pitch was, yeah, there are sites that do this, but they don't give you a link to actually purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
What this does is they will actually show you, hey, we found this shirt. We think that you would like it. Oh my gosh, I do like that. When you click on it, it takes you to the site where that shirt was so that you can purchase it directly from whoever's selling it. And there's a lot of different things through there. I'm actually going to be signing up for their beta and checking some things out with it, because clothes shopping is honestly one of the things that I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because you either go into a boutique store and people follow you around because they're looking for commission, and it's like, I'm just looking, please just let me look, let me be happy, don't stalk me. Or as in Katie's situation, you walk into a place and it's like, all right, they have 3 things in my size, I don't like any of them. So I'm hoping that if I can sign up for their beta and their demo and stuff, check it out.
And it was definitely up. These guys won me over pitch-wise because it was the most classic startup pitch that you've ever seen. Guy goes up there and he's like, well-dressed and everything, and says, It was you ever watch somebody pick out a prom dress? It's like I've been watching girls pick out prom dresses for the last 6 months, and it sucks. And that was like the beginning, and it led into this whole thing.
And that was the other thing is like of all the presentations, that was completely the pitch guy that was like, yes, I like you. I don't know what you're selling, but I like you.
Awesome. Anything else to? Well, yeah, this is one. Again, in the, I wish I had met somebody from this. Again, they pitched. I happened across their card. I think they had a table. Flipback was one of them. The app's not out yet. This is an iPhone app kind of thing, and the whole idea is like you do a video, you flip out to your friends, and then like it comes back, and you can just edit it all together. I don't know, like a really good reason to use this app. It feels like just another. Well, that's a cool idea, and we've experimented. I know I've experimented with Norm Hulsman that's been on the show before with something like this, where a bunch of people at an event can shoot a video and you can mash it all together. But the way they pitched it, I was very interested in like maybe pick this up and maybe like all the Mayhem guys, saying, "Hey guys, let's throw out reactions to tonight's Raw," and they all say, "Oh my God, did you see this?" Da 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 da, and we throw it comes all together. Again, not really knowing too much about this app. It's still they haven't get notified link on here if you want to sign up for it. It's going to be iPhone at least. Probably. I don't know. They're showing off iPhone so far. Coming soon. Download.
Yeah, I didn't see any other logos.
But it's Flipback, FLIKBAK.com if you want to check that out as well.
Did anyone, or how was Amplified?
That's a funny thing. Let me tell you about Amplified. I don't know anything about Amplified. And it's weird because I ran into like somebody, like I started talking with one of the guys from it like right before the end of the thing, and then he had to go do something and actually said, "Hey, I know you," and I'm like, "You look familiar too," but I couldn't place it, and then I never knew. To add to the mystery of this company, and if I can remember from their pitch, because there's no information on their website, and I was even looking at their table, and I saw screens full of stats, T-shirts with their logo. I think I have some stickers in my pocket, and didn't connect. The whole idea was about keeping engagement during the workday for employees,
and they actually have. There's a lot of studies done about engaged employees being more effective and efficient. There's over $300 billion lost per year on.
You sound just like his pitch.
Ineffective employees. This is actually something that's huge in corporate America.
Okay.
And I think so. Corporate America is usually always well behind the tech curve.
Yeah.
We're well aware of gamification, things like that. They're just trying to start to use that. This is like I hear about this once a week at work.
Amplified?
No, not
the
Amplified.
concept.
The concept.
Yes.
Okay.
And all and it's in brainstorming sessions. I have to attend a weekly meeting for strategic ideas on how to raise our engagement scores. So if they get out in front of this and they're kind of like playing the only one playing in that space.
Well, you can email them for details, and that's about all you can do.
That's what kind of bummed me out. The email link is like mail to info and Amplified, and then they have a Facebook and Twitter that
has nothing going on with it.
That's not much going on. So my question, I was wondering were they one of the ones without the booth? But it sounds like they had a booth.
They did have a booth,
but I didn't have much for information.
No, there wasn't much information at all. And like you said, their concept, when they were given their pitch, I'm like, that would be really handy because as an employee in corporate America, I do kind of get that feeling.
Well, the interesting thing is that it's an employee-led retention program, which means that management kind of sets the employees to do it themselves. So I can't imagine there being a huge... I could see them saying, we're going to charge you $1 billion because of everything this offers. But once you... it's almost like a set it and forget it, from what it sounds like.
I see you've already followed their Twitter.
Yes. So, and actually I don't log in on Facebook on Chrome, but I'll make an exception just for them.
So have they done the right thing by not telling us enough that we're just like, I want to find out so much
and
more
that's
because I'm so interested in the topic? Are they just weeding out the weirdos like me that are just kind of weirdly interested in these things?
I don't think so. And my follow-up question to that was going to be, and unfortunately I wasn't able to make the tech cocktail, but were there other companies there? Like, for instance, the pitch that I'm looking at some of these other than the Amplified. Like, for Diamond Kinetics, was there people there that would potentially be interested in using the product?
This is one thing I was unclear on for this event, and I think we talked about it because I think we sat there and we're just like, who was this event for?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're not investors, There was definitely some developers there that were not attached to anything. I think it was gee, look at this, kind of thing,
Which is
about
cool.
everything.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if this comes back up, I'll definitely try to carve out time.
So I think it works as far as we're somebody that talks about these things, and now you're now know a little bit more and might follow up on, like, say, the mysterious Amplified. And I think there might be some other investors, other people looking for, hey, you need a developer, kind of guys there too. But I wasn't entirely clear on the focus of the audience for this.
Well, it's interesting too because it sounds like a lot of these companies are at much different.
Oh, they're definitely varying
Oh,
levels.
they were all over the place.
Spots in their life cycle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
What was the tag along was they just started their beta. They're an app.
Well, they actually were one of my girlfriends is involved with the tag along thing, and it was like a weekend thing, literally like a month ago, that this group got together and created this.
And the whole idea is it's kind of like a guided tour app. Like, you're in a strip district and here's a bunch of sites.
It's to promote local
Tourism.
business and tourism to local businesses, because, all right, I'm in a new city. What is there to do here? Where should I go for dinner? What should I do while I'm here? It has the option that it gives you specific visit points based on the area. It also has, like, me as an individual, if I did some touristy things in Pittsburgh, I could create my own agenda, and then I could upload that and share it through the site so that people could download Missy's agenda and do the touristy things that I wanted to do. So it's kind of a social figuring out what's around you type of thing.
Yeah, so that's something that was actually, like, doing something. Sounds like the Kinetics guy had something going on. They actually talking to him. They already were getting contracts because that was one question I asked, I think, of everybody. I was like, well, how are you getting any traction? Basically, was a question. Now, depending on what the topic was, it's like, they're selling, somebody selling a box. They're not selling the box yet, But the Kinetics guys were like, yeah, we're in with a few interested parties, some teams and high schools and stuff like that. Athlete tracks. Ooh, Missy, I know you were familiar with because your boss's daughter's boyfriend, fiance,
boyfriend
was in part of that company.
It was interesting because my boss, who's like not at all tech whatsoever,
he's an old lawyer.
He's as old as my dad is. Has no interest in technology whatsoever. Like, God love him, can barely function on the stuff that he has. Usually he has a bunch of questions and he just does what he needs to do. But sends an email to the company saying, hey, my daughter's boyfriend's company is participating in this tech cocktail event. They're looking for votes because they're doing stuff based on a vote-based system.
And these guys very much won.
Can you please go vote? So we pull up the email, I pull up the site, I'm like, I actually emailed him back and said, I am going to this event tomorrow night. So he, of course, was like, oh, you have to, chat up my daughter's boyfriend and let him know that, let him know that you know me. So, yeah, that actually started the conversation between Sorg and this guy because I went and introduced myself as his girlfriend's father's assistant. That's not awkward at all, but yeah, it was an interesting. Essentially, what their app does is imagine that you're part of the soccer mom community for wherever you are. The coach normally has a list of parents, and if something happens, like if a game gets canceled, you have to call each parent, or they're on an emailing list, but not everybody utilizes the emailing list properly. This puts everything into a at your fingertips.
And I think it's even broader than that. It's
Application.
about the entire like a sports team plan.
Yeah.
Like the I can't remember the name, but like a physical fitness plan for a team or something.
Yeah.
And it really connects that up. So I'm like, so basically you have all this stuff in there, and little Jimmy's doing such and such in softball, and now they can just shoot off an email from the system with all the stats, and no longer, coach no longer has to have that face to face, and that's one less thing he needs to worry about. And oh my God, I got to manage all these kids and all this stuff. That seems to be the gist of it. Is just kind of
A community
bringing all that
yeah.
together. So I mean, I caught more that it was a tracker kind of software for like an entire like program. Like, I mean, they're showing even in this, like, people running, weightlifting and stuff, and just kind of keeping up on it. So, but it looks like it does bring up several aspects of that together.
Yeah.
What weightlifter brings his iPad to the gym? I want to know.
That guy.
I bring my iPad to the gym. I have my workout listed on there.
All right.
It's a thing I do. I used to put it on my iPod, but since my iPod is less than reliable, I have it
You
on
can definitely
this.
tell this is a Pittsburgh-based company. I just saw a 412 shirt in that video. Looks like it might be one of the Commonwealth ones. But no, he said, and even in talking to him, he said that a lot of they have a few schools already under the plan there. So yeah, but no, yeah. If you want to see that entire list, go over to sorgatronmedia.com. I got a list with Tech Cocktail talking about each of the companies and some of our thoughts on them. So we hope to kind of keep an eye out. Maybe we can drag a couple of these guys on the show and talk to them a little more directly.
Is this going to be like a quarterly event, yearly event?
Their
Once
last
in a
one
lifetime?
this is their second. Last one was in October, so it's
Okay.
not even yearly.
No, and he pretty much said that they're looking to do this more frequently, and they travel all over.
I think they're
all
all
over the
over the
country.
place. I think they're testing the waters with Pittsburgh becoming one of the bigger ones for their thing. Because if you look to it, like I've been like, every time I go to this, I was having trouble finding information. And you look and like there's like national, and then there's like Atlanta, Austin, Boise, Chicago, Dallas, DC, Denver, blah blah blah, NYC, San Francisco. No Pittsburgh on there, so it was kind of hard for me to figure what is happening with this thing. But there's a lot going on with these guys, because apparently they have, like, their site actually has a lot of articles about startups. I know they said because the winners of the week and we all voted and stuff. Would be featured, and there's 200,000 readers on here and everything. So I mean, it's like a news / now they have a book about stuff for startups and / a showcase. So they're very just all around with the startup community, it looks like. So it sounded pretty cool, and kind of cool that they got to get into Pittsburgh featured stuff, and Alpha Lab getting featured as well. So, and now I know what Cavo is on the Strip. Yes. So there you go. So that's Tech Cocktail. Mike, do you have an awesome thing?
I do have an awesome thing, Sorg. It's very specific to my city. It's something that you actually sent me a tweet about a couple months ago.
Oh no, what did I do?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It wasn't like the Xbox controller you were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's the new interactive subway system maps
Ooh.
in New York City.
Oh, I remember sending you these because I'm like, hey, let me know how these are.
Yeah. I finally got to see one in Grand Central, and I think the one in Times Square is still being worked on. I don't remember seeing it optimized in there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, I think it's more geared toward tourists. I think it's geared a little bit more toward, because basically what it is, the giant touch screen. It has for Grand Central, it has the subway lines that are listed. It has if there's any like construction or anything like that, which is incredibly helpful. But then you can actually pan out to see the whole subway map of New York. You can click a stop that you want to get to. Like if you want to go to Coney Island, you can just click the Coney Island stop, and it'll tell you how to get there from where you are. Like the easiest way to do that, barring construction and things like that. And it's actually a really, really cool interface. But I think most people who live in New York City, don't necessarily need it just because they've been reading the subway map for years. But for people who aren't as familiar, it seems like a really awesome way to get around the city.
In the directions thing, does it give the time of like the next train and what the times are to switch trains?
It doesn't really do that. There are only certain subway stops, subway lines that have like 5 minutes to the up down one train. 5 minutes till that comes in. There are only certain lines that do that. They're working on rolling that out for the rest of the lines, but right now they're focusing on like the big lines that go up and down all of Manhattan, basically. So I don't think that integrated into the thing, at least not that I saw yet. But once you actually go to the subway like platform, there especially in Grand Central and Times Square, they have like the next train is coming in 2 minutes or something like that. So they don't tell you when it's coming, but they tell you which way to go.
I mean, I would love this even in Pittsburgh. I think this should be in the mall. I think these should be everywhere, especially with. I mean, it's, a lot of the online map system, Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever map system you Waze, whatever, they do a pretty decent job. But if you're getting it backed by the like that's yours is the MTA, ours is PAT. If you get it from them and you're getting data straight from them, like you're talking about, if there's construction or there's an issue on the rail, I think this is much better in that case.
Well,
the thing from an outsider's perspective, I see where you're going with. You know, is it that useful for people from New York? I think if you're a person that was in New York and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, people are taking public transportation a lot, and this can help if you're going somewhere you don't typically go. So as someone who rides the train here, I know the times. I know something simple. I know that my train comes at 7:50 in the morning, and it comes every 12 minutes. I can then back calculate when earlier trains are coming and later trains are coming based on 12 minutes apart, whatever. But if you said you're in the city and we want you to take the train to point XYZ, or you're going to have to transfer to a bus, etc., and I have to be somewhere at a certain time, that's where something like Google Now is definitely going to probably do much better than this. But I think it's an area for them to grow in.
Well, this is typically for when you're already in a subway station. Like, it's not for when you're just setting off on a journey. If I have to go somewhere in the city where I don't know where it is, I use HopStop.
Okay.
That's me. HopStop has been incredibly helpful to get me to areas because that does kind of narrow down like a time when you can go and how long it'll take to get down there roughly.
And I use HopStop a little bit, like that weird area when we didn't have Google Maps and we had Apple Maps with no transit. So yeah, I was using HopStop for getting around here too. So it seems like it's pretty good. I can see how it'd be huge up there in New York.
And actually, I forgot. I just recently downloaded this app that I found on Twitter. It's also from the MTA. It's called Bus Checker. So it's not for subways, but if you it'll just show you an Apple map of where you are, and then it shows all the bus stops around you. If you click on one of the bus stops, it'll tell you when the next bus is, because they all have the little GPS wireless in each of the buses, so it'll tell you exactly what bus number is coming, when it's coming, and how long until you have the next one. That app has actually been incredibly helpful.
Nice. Chilla, what do you got?
So I got Chrome Remote Desktop, and this is something I've been
Oh,
following.
no.
It's been in beta for a while. And interestingly enough, the beta was by invite only. And when I had originally read about it, I don't know how true the information was, but they were saying, the beta was limited, extremely limited. It wasn't like you could find someone or opt in or sign me up for the beta, or it's Google Glass and it's going to be available to everyone for one day. But this Chrome Remote Desktop gives you the capability to remotely control any machine that also has Chrome running on it. When you think about, I know Mike, you're a big user of LogMeIn, or you were.
I still am. They haven't shut me off yet.
Oh, they haven't
You
shut
know
you
what's
off?
so weird? Apparently, generally, and I don't know if I'm just haven't hit the cutoff date, but the word was if you paid $30 for that app on the iPhone,
Which I did.
apparently they're letting you have Pro. Or at least you can use that app for Pro. Was my understanding.
Oh,
Was my understanding. Now, I'm still using the app on the desktop.
right.
They swapped it over so it's not in browser. So I have that loaded upstairs, and it's been pretty decent so far.
Okay.
So
So you're still using LogMeIn. So, and I actually, as soon as they said, everyone's going to if you log in soon, you're going to just pretty much get a 72-hour warning that you need to upgrade your account. I'm like, I'm not even ever logging in again. I removed it from my machines and have used alternate methods in the interim. But this is something I'm definitely probably going to move to.
I'm installing it right now. Let's see. So I feel like there's going to be a number popping up that I shouldn't show anybody. User screen sharing, perfect for remote technical support. This is for Grandpap. Access your own computer from anywhere. Let's get started with that. Enable connection. Something. Oh, and then there's an extra installer. So it's a bit of a process. It seems so.
Well, and then when you think about what it's doing.
Oh yeah.
But this is definitely something.
Now, have you used the remote desktop feature in Hangout?
No.
Because that's something that popped up, and I actually did use that with my grandfather a little bit ago. No, if you go in and Hangout, one of those tools in the bar on the left is actually, Mike, you're on Hangout. Excuse me while I get in your face here a little bit. I believe it's this one. Yeah, remote desktop right there. No, the other way. It's right there. See that? Oh, look at that.
No, my left and my right, Sorg.
But no, if you click that, and then Mike, indulge me. I'm going to click remote
I feel
desktop.
like I'm playing Nick Arcade and doing badly.
And it gives me a little thing about it. I say, okay, you got it. And I want to help Mike. Mike, I'm going to help you, and now I'm waiting for you to respond.
Oh,
So I'm sure this was a major add-on for help outs.
Oh yeah, you bet it was. I don't know, Mike. It says you should be receiving. There you go. I hope you don't have any porn on your desktop. And now I see Mike's desktop. That easy. And now I can move around his mouse a bit. And
Sorg, this is scary.
let's see what's on his computer. What do you got in Firefox, Mike? But you get
Lots
the idea.
of porn, Sorg.
And then
Lots of porn.
Oh no! So I hit end, and we're all done, and I'm back to just looking at Mike. So
I actually, when I was working at IBM, we had something similar called IBM Ayúdame, which is Spanish for help me, where you could contact. It wasn't through a video chat. All you'd have to do is just look up your IP address and send it to them, and then they put it into whatever program they had. Then they could just go balls out on your desktop and fix whatever problem you had.
So you've been using the beta, right, Chilla?
No, so the beta was closed.
Oh, okay.
I
So
couldn't.
this is-
I had no clue how to even get an invite. There was some information that leaked around the beta, and then I recently found out within the last week that it left beta, and it's now out there available to everyone. So I have a feeling I'm going to be throwing this on every machine I own, because the one thing that gets the one thing that I think keeps people from kind of doing this on their own, and hey, why do I need an app for this kind of thing, is that to come back in through your internet provider and then bounce through your router, etc., is kind of a hassle. And this kind of keeps you as a kind of an always on state to get back to your home network, which is something that's important to me personally.
And now I'm getting some weird errors about you failed to start service. I might be because I didn't restart my browser.
You probably have to. You may have to restart your browser. You may even have to restart your computer if it's installing a
So
service.
is this one of those like it always like I notice now I want to say regardless it always has the notifications for Google now.
This will be something that runs in the background like that.
Okay.
So if you ever look at your task manager, there's like, even when Google Chrome is completely shut down, you're going to have like the Google Helper service. You're going to have other things on the machine. This is going to be another one of those.
I through Chrome, I have a, those computers, like those same compacts that have been laying around here. I finally threw XP on one of them, and I actually decided it's slow. I'm just going to hook up the printer. This is one we're going to do DVD printing on, right? Because I need a Windows machine. And it's very slow, very, very slow. It's like half a gig of memory. It's not doing very well. But I noticed oh wait, this Chrome thing keeps popping up. This Chrome, because it's not hidden like it is on these Windows 7 and 8 computers, right? So I'm like, no, go away, no, go away, no, go away, no, go away. I need all the memory I can get. Go away. So that's been kind of a battle that I've been endeavoring in the last week. No, this is awesome. It's good to have it. Yeah, I tried TeamViewer. I think you introduced me to, but I was like, wow, this is still working, so I'm going to keep using it.
Yeah, if you already have everything already set up.
Yeah,
I just look at it as
the big thing is, well, I have those iPad 1s. And when I'm sitting there and I don't want a laptop, and I want to do something, if I don't want to be the crappy iPad 1 iOS 5 app, I would just pull it up and start working on my computer upstairs with my little keyboard and propped up iPad on my lap, sitting in the chair, and I'm able to do real work, real website interactions on there.
the unfortunate thing is that's one device that this won't work on.
Exactly. That's where I'm having a problem with this.
You
And
could
I wonder if
use your
they'll have
Nexus.
maybe they'll have an app for that eventually. What's that?
You could use your Nexus.
Really?
Yeah.
They have a version of this, or it just happens in the Chrome, so it's okay.
No, it's in the Google Play Store.
It's in a Google Play Store.
On the device.
We're making this.
There's
happen.
two. There's a second link.
Where's the button?
Wait
on
a
this
minute.
thing?
If you go to the Lifehacker article and you look at it, they're showing someone remoting from, it's called Chrome Remote Desktop in Google Play. They're showing someone on an Android device controlling a Windows 7 device, wherever it might be.
Chrome Remote Desktop is happening right now.
And said in review, the brief test, the connections was incredibly smooth over both Wi-Fi and LTE, though your mileage may vary.
So I'm downloading. Missy, you were raising your hand.
Yeah, I was going to let you know that Doug Durda is in fact still watching the show.
Oh,
He's
hi!
over there in the chat room.
Hi, Doug.
And he's commented that he's used that in Google Hangouts to help his mom with her machine.
Dude, it's the ultimate parent help tool.
He says it was more difficult to get her to actually click the link, the Hangout link in the email. That's what he specifically says.
Oh, and Doug, I have to say.
Oh, he says hi.
Oh, and Doug, I have to say, I have. You notice we started a new show that we have a lot of maybe not so Google Hangout affluent doctors. And I've been doing a lot of stuff with that lately. Your tip about putting the link from the Hangout in the chat to get them to click on it has been invaluable for me the last 2 weeks. I just want to make sure. I've been meaning to say something about that.
So what was that tip?
If you now, I don't know why. Like Mike's doesn't do this, but I know at least on Windows or on the Mac it does this. Like the Hangout window, like what Mike, I'm going to use as an example here since you're the Hangout. Okay. But typically, and he's cropped off here on the shot you guys have. But in his window at the top, you'll see the address.
Mhm.
If you, or actually, if I right click, I can probably bring up an address bar. If you take that address bar, that's going specifically to that Hangout.
That Hangout.
And if you put that, like, say, in the chat or an email, they'll drop right into that Hangout. They'll be like, do you want to join this Hangout thing? Because I think we were, at the time, we were doing a Hangout on air.
Mhm.
And that's when we, because that's the weird thing. Yo, you slice. Come over and get your slice of slice. We got a couple left over here. What was I saying? What was I talking about?
The dropping
The
in.
dropping in.
The dropping in, and
It'll drop you right into the Hangout.
drop in the Hangout. It'll give the whole, hey, you're doing a live thing because we were broadcasting, and you're good to go. So because Google changes crap so freaking much, and it's hard to explain. How do I find the Hangout you just invited me to?
Mhm.
Sometimes it doesn't come through as a call for whatever reason because they're not on the right page that they think they are, or it doesn't pop up, or sometimes it pops up in their timeline. Sometimes they have to go to my page. Sometimes they just go to Hangouts. Sometimes they just go to the chat. It's not uniform enough. Like there's this thing right here that says you have a Hangout waiting, and you click it, and that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Like it just sometimes it just doesn't show, and versus you're getting a call on Skype. You're going to freaking know it, you know. Yet when somebody calls me on Google Voice, every device in the house goes off. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. Which is nice because that's kind of a clue. Because like somebody called me earlier, and I'm like, "Who the heck is this calling me?" And then I heard all the rest of the devices down here going off. And I'm like, "Oh, this must be somebody calling me for such and such." I'm going to answer. So,
Or is your, for like iOS or other things, are you using Talkatone at all?
no.
Okay.
Is that that's actually connects with voice, doesn't it?
That connects with voice, and it actually lets you like make a voice call from an iPad or
Okay, this I heard about on
device.
Twitter this week
Yeah.
actually. So
I've used that a lot in the past. and
Now-
it's no
now,
longer
I know-
supported.
to support, you go with that, and you know, in case you guys want to go check out Talkatone, the word is that Google Voice is going to smush in with Hangout very soon, and the worry is unconfirmed. Worry is stuff, certain features from Google Voice won't carry over, like maybe the connections that allow something like that to happen. So keep an eye out for that. If you are using Google Voice, we use it. I have a business number through it for Sorgatron Media. That way I know, okay, this is coming for this, so I know to hang it. You know, I know how to, to handle it differently, or something like that, or let it go to voicemail, and I know I'll get a text, in my email. Or if I'm out of service and I'm on a computer that is connected, something like that. And we also use it for the voicemail for Wrestling Mayhem Show. It's been very handy for that. So, awesome. All right, we got a few other things we'll touch on here briefly. Missy, you found something.
I did.
You found that Apple Maps found something.
Oh, I did. I can't actually take full credit for that. I was hanging out on my social medias, and my friend Andy Quayle actually had posted this, I believe, on Facebook. We all know that.
Techbird.com?
I think so.
I think you're right.
I just want to give him a plug since we're
Yeah.
bringing him up.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Well, I felt that I should because it was his link that I clicked. Apple Maps has apparently found the Loch Ness Monster. There you go. There's listed from the Telegraph. Yeah, they're doing the Apple Maps imaging, and this is the image that was apparently found.
I think it's a giant
No,
jellyfish.
It's
Could be
even
Loch
worse.
Ness
No,
Monster.
I think I know what this is. I remember a couple weeks ago, I was actually just, looking around on maps, and I looked up Loch Ness. That is not the Loch Ness Monster. That is a Lapras.
Lapras?
What is
That
that?
is a Lapras. That is a Pokemon.
Ah.
we took
It all comes full
everything's
circle.
a Pokemon.
does.
This is a Pokemon. You thought Kane was a Pokemon last night on Raw?
Sorg, it was only 3 weeks ago I saw Lapras in Loch Ness. It was only 3 weeks ago, Sorg. We talked about it. It was
I
on
know.
April 1st. I saw a Lapras in Loch Ness.
That's right. You did. Oh no, the Pokemon thing. I know. I remember now. Wow.
I was waiting for you to get it, Sorg.
Wow.
In the article, it
Yes.
says it looks like a boat wake, but the boat's missing. I read another article where they were saying that they photoshopped the boat out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that could have actually been done. Do I actually think it's the Loch Ness Monster? Yeah, definitely not. But it was just kind of one of those fun.
It is fun. I wish they should somehow mark all these different things. You should create a social media site out of crazy stuff found on map apps.
Oh, absolutely.
Chilla, what is this about Mac OS?
So Mac OS, they're opening the betas to the public.
Okay.
Anybody with a Mac device and an iTunes account or App Store account is now able to register and download beta versions of the OS prior to release. You no longer have to be a developer.
This is dangerous.
So I'll be interested to see how they take this going forward. The beta that's currently going on is well into releases of the beta. I don't think it'll be interesting to see if they give you the real day one betas, or if they're going to keep it like Microsoft did with the preview. I think as people are becoming amateur developers, or you want to give someone the capability to really fully test something prior to the release, so your stuff's ready day one.
Even
I
just
think
developing stuff. Everybody's going to be on Mavericks. I got to put this computer on Mavericks. Can I load it on one of these other ones and see if Wirecast works with it?
exactly.
Am I going to have a problem? Oh no, maybe you should hold off on that machine that has that. I feel like, yeah.
Well, and I feel like so in the iOS beta, I have access to iOS betas not because I'm a developer, not because I have a developer account, because I actually have what's called an iOS for IT account. It's for information technology professionals.
And that's so you make sure it works with all the stuff you have in your company.
Right, but one would think the main stuff I'm testing is other people's apps, other major companies' apps that we leverage. One would think they would be doing this testing. Why am I finding through the beta process issues that I then submit to them, not to Apple, because it's this third party?
Okay.
And they say, "Oh, we weren't aware of that. Thank you for catching that."
I have a counter. Unless you're telling me they're super obvious things that maybe these guys maybe should have looked once and found. I have a counter. These companies can't catch everything, and now that you are out there in the beta waters finding these things as well, now you're an extra beta tester, because the more eyes the better, right? How many things don't come up until iOS goes out into millions of iPhones?
This was something. So you know how you launch an app for the first time, and if it needs access to the microphone, it says, do you want to give access to the microphone? Do you want to give access to contacts, photos, etc.? This was, if you answered no to contacts, it would crash the app.
Oh,
It was something they should have definitely tested.
Okay.
Wow.
But,
okay.
But no, I agree with you though, and I think too, if you're willing, like I said, I was willing to do the Windows 8 preview, 8.1 preview, knowing full well that I'd have to rebuild the machine. I was willing.
Yeah, you got a comment. Windows did it first.
That's very true, and
That's
they
from
did.
Kraus, of course.
And
Cars
Kraus is
trying to
running
get
the
him to sell
Windows.
down.
He's running the Windows Phone 8.1.
Okay.
And I think what you're going to see is the public release is going to be closer to the real release.
Does this include iOS?
No, but
Not
I
yet?
have a feeling
Probably.
it's probably iOS.
We're not there yet. Probably WWDC. Some of us will we'll be able to get access to 8 iOS 8. Yeah.
And the one thing is I don't know how you rarely do you see beta access to dot releases. Usually the beta releases are really in the 7.0, 8.0, 6.0 realm. Rarely do you see, unless they're making some really big changes in a point release like your 7.1. I had no access to the 7.1 beta. I had no access to 7.1.1 release today. I had no access to that. So I think it's going to be your major. Well, this is 10.9.3 that they're given access to. So, maybe you probably won't get 10.10, but you'll get 10.10.
As a developer, or as a producer of things that need to get out, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Not touching it. I'm not big enough to throw it on one for somebody to work on and find the problems.
Yeah.
So, but still cool that they're kind of.
Well, this is something for me. I need to be aware of all of the capabilities day one.
Yes.
So this is something I probably won't load on my main machine, but I'll definitely be loading on some kind of device. I don't know. I find it very interesting because it gives you that glimpse into what's up and coming. Keeping in mind also that Apple's been pretty good at keeping things hidden up until a final release, where all of a sudden, going from beta 6 to beta 7, you get a bunch of feature functionality that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Powdered alcohol.
Yeah, I thought it's outlawed in the United States right now, or it's not approved in the United States.
Like, that doesn't seem like something we would outlaw.
But yeah,
What?
I'm guessing it's FDA. It needs FDA approval.
Okay.
I didn't read the small print on this, but pretty much what it allows you to do is take any kind of alcohol and they turn it into a powder. And the two examples they use are, you could take this powder and sprinkle it over your salad, and now your salad is filled with alcohol.
Alcohol salad?
Yeah.
But this is a great idea. I'm back around.
Or they said the other thing you could do, obviously, is bring the powder with you, mix it with water, and then you have the drink of your choice. That they've already worked out things like margaritas. They would have premix. You just add water and boom, it's a margarita. Or
Wow.
obviously anything. Gin and tonic wouldn't work. Because it's tonic is fizzy. But I mean, you could think about all of the mojitos, anything like that. Think of have you seen the Kool-Aid packets that are like premixed Kool-Aid with the sugar? You rip it open, put it in a plastic bottle, shake it up, and you have your Kool-Aid.
Very familiar with that.
Okay, so now you have like a booze drink. You bring your bottle of water, you throw it in there, bam.
This seems like it could cause a lot of problems for parents of younger children if there's a mix-up.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guess that's the problem. I guess that's the thing. That's the problem we weren't seeing.
Well, and look at the kids that were getting in trouble for smoking alcohol, where they do something where they deep freeze it.
I've not heard of this.
Yeah, you can actually is it freezer?
Was there something where they were like shooting vodka up their butts?
That's happened. Yep.
Yeah, that still happens.
That still, of course, it still happens. Kids do weird crap. I remember doing weird crap when I was yeah.
I just look at it as nice as you're going to the beach or you're going to some kind of event. You don't have to pack a bunch of others. You just a couple bottles of water, or bring these things with you and buy water at the location. All of a sudden, different event venues will spike sales of water because booze is so expensive there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm thinking of it from a different perspective because I do a lot of baking.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be the equivalent of like powdered milk in recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Once you add the water, it makes it does fun stuff with the cake if you do it that way. I wonder what the alcohol would do, because I've done booze infused cupcakes, but
just a couple weekends ago,
I replaced the water content with alcohol, and it generally burns off. But if I were to put a quarter cup of booze in, I don't think that would
in the icing.
Oh no, the icing. I do the icing. The
Okay.
icing. I replace water in the icing. But if I'm doing like actual booze cupcakes, I will like the wedding that I did. I replaced Guinness with. I used Guinness instead of the water. So
Okay.
when it calls for a cup and a half of water, I used a cup and a half of Guinness. The booze
Guys,
cooks off.
I think you're thinking too small of a scale on this.
What are you thinking there, Mike?
Bathtub mixers.
Oh no! Oh no!
Everyone gather around the bathtub with a straw.
Just lay down some saran wrap in the bathtub. Get a Costco bag of crazy straws. Turn that faucet on. Pour a bunch of packets in, and boom, you got a party.
Either that or else like, mommy has had a really rough day. This is not a bubble bath.
This is not a bubble bath. This is not about anyone dunking their head in will have to be held by their ankles, like a keg stand. Or bathtub.
Wow.
What would be interesting is if you could get it into the water stream after the filtration process.
Now, would it be easier for kids to spike the punch bowl at...
Oh yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Oh no!
Oh man, that's yeah.
That's totally happening.
Oh, if you could create some kind of powder dispersal system, you could spike the water fountains in your school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This could be...
You could spike the water intake to entire buildings.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking is I could easily do that with my building.
Wow.
Well, like Starbucks has one of those triple filter systems in all their stores.
Yeah.
If you had access to it, you could get in post filter, and all the liquids flowing out of Starbucks would then be.
And we don't need Starbucks to become more popular. They're already going to sell wine in big cities soon.
They were in a hotel room over the weekend. Like there's just like Starbucks cups. I'm like, what is this? Anyways.
Oh, ice machines.
That's brilliant.
Ice machines.
Wow.
Mike, I think we should make it our goal to intoxicate America for one day.
I think you guys have a pretty good...
I believe
Plan.
that happens around the middle of March. A lot of people were green.
Yeah. Guys, and also 420.
That's a different kind of intoxication.
While we plot our next act here. Thanks, Mad Mike, for joining us. Mad Mike 483 joins us on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and very often on the Rambling Movie Minute with Malengo. You watch the movies.
Yeah.
On the couch,
Like in the movies.
Chilla. Do you have anything for the calendar this week?
I just threw in Google I/O and WWDC coming up. They're a ways out.
Yeah, they're coming.
They're coming.
They're on their way.
iOS 7.1.1 released today.
Yeah, I still haven't updated yet.
Be our last.
I think I mentioned I updated my Google Glass, and then it ran out of the entire battery in like 30 minutes, and then like I heard sounds but saw nothing, so I'm wondering what's going on there.
Is it charging? Is it charging now and seems to be holding?
It is now charging. Oh, actually, that's a weird thing going on. I've never seen a half light like that.
Did you
before.
break your phone? Or your
no.
glass?
Oh, hopefully they sent me a new one if that's the case. Oh, there's something on the screen.
Sorg.
I'll check that off there.
Sorg, since your glass is charging right now, 8 equals capital D.
Guys, it's been the AwesomeCast. You can join us, of course, here Tuesdays and 8 equal D me in person at live.circuitronmedia.com,
Wait,
6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. What? What?
That doesn't sound good, Sorg.
That would be a good show
That's-
title if you actually spelled it out like EIGHT. 8
Yeah.
equals D.
D.
Yeah.
Tilda.
That is the dirtiest, geekiest thing ever. You can send us your ASCII art at AwesomeCast on Twitter, or on our Facebook and Google Plus pages. You can just at awesomecast.com, find out all the episodes and everything. Awesomecast at sorgatronmedia.com if you want to email your ASCII art personally. And we're also, you can find us on audio and video on iTunes, Roku, Blip TV, and YouTube as well. Thank you tonight, Missy, for helping, for being on the show.
I get a thank you.
Being on the
Yay!
show and doing tweets and doing the show notes for tonight, of course, filling in, of course. So with that, thank you for our awesome chat room. That's been just great all night. Just seeing cars trying to keep Kraus settled down has been entertaining, and everybody else in there. A lot of people in there tonight. Good to see. So thank you to our awesome chat room. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week.